Hi, glad to be back sooner than I expected. But the transits, it's amazing. I'm telling myself, oh, you really don't need to do this transit work, but they are calling me. It's unbelievable. I can't do anything about it. So I'm going through a very, very deep process that the word support is part of it, and I will explain in a minute. And then I'm looking at the transits of tomorrow, and I see the channel of synthesis. I see this very, very primal, basic emotional channel, the design of sensitivity, the root of the stream of touch, the root of the mystical way, all these aspects of this channel. And I couldn't resist sharing with you my process, the way I can see it through the transit. It's unbelievable. So what I'm going through lately, and I think it's the last year, but it's a process that brought me there, maybe even 18 months or something like this. I remember the words of my teacher, Genoa, that was saying that the Chiron return period in our life, it's the return of the wounded healer. And I never really got why the healer is wounded, and what is this combination? What is this sentence, the return of the wounded healer? But now I understand it because I'm going through this. And apparently when we get to the Chiron return, if we haven't looked deeply in our wound, in the wound that the soul came with, and usually it's about opening the heart, all kind of variations of opening your heart, putting your open heart on the table. So if you haven't done this before your Chiron return, you have no choice. Your inner process will push you to heal yourself. And this healing is not about really, you can't get rid of this wound, but you can heal the process of living with it. It's not about pushing it aside, trying to, to not to feel, not to be, all our conditionings is about hiding this wound and trying to ignore it, and really not to identify with it, not to live it. And the healing process is just to acknowledge this wound and start seeing the beauty of this wound. And this is the healing process. It's really strong. And for me, it's so interesting because my son sits in the 10th gate. And the 10th gate, according to the gene keys, carries this shadow of self-obsession, and he talks very deeply about this opening heart thing. And because the 10th gate is the gate that actually conditions all human behavior, so it's my son, but it's everything it's the lesson of the 10th gate is humanity's lesson. And the lesson is that the 10th gate is afraid of being, to open itself to others, to really open and love the other and accept the other because it is afraid of losing its individuality and uniqueness. Now, I really resonate with this. I never knew that this is what's happening with me, but in the last year and a half, I'm going through this heart opening, and it's like an open heart surgery. I didn't choose it consciously, but it's part of the process. I couldn't do anything about it. It just happened. And during this process, I see this fear of losing the individuality. And it's interesting that I look at the basics of human design, and I see that, you know, we have these three circuits in our circuitry model of the human design chart. And we have really the individual is, let's say, the most rated. Yes, it brings the innovation, it brings the mutation, it is the biggest circuitry. Most of the channels, I mean, many of the channels belong to this circuitry, and it's about really, you know, mutative process and really innovative, as I said, creativity. Everything is very, very rated about this. And my son is individual, my conscious son. So I really resonate with this. And of course, the channel of initiation and blah, blah, blah. And then there's the collective circuitry, which is about remembering the past and the human experiential way, and then the logic process of seeing patterns that would lead us to the future. And all this, it's very rated too. It's very, and the keynote is sharing. You know, we share, we have the empowerment of the individual process, and we have the sharing of the collective process. And the tribal process is really, you know, suppressed. It's not very, it's not, you know, interesting, and it's not, I forgot the word, it will come later. It is very simple. And we you know, I felt with my tribal channel, which is the only that is conscious, I felt, well, yes, I'm tribal, but I'm individual, I'm collective, you know, it's better. And what happened now is that I see how everything turns around. I mean, we can't put any aspect above the others or under the others, but it's really, it's a process that contains everything. And it is so amazing to see how the tribal process is the core process, is the basic. If we look at the tribal circuitry, we look at the defense circuit that brings the children to the world and then educates them and prepares them to life. And this is the primal process of life. We can't do anything without this defense circuit. And then the ego circuit that rules everything, rules our relationships, our financial development. That's what we have, our relationship with God. If we look at this channel, yes, that Mercury and Venus are going to create for us tomorrow, it's about the primal human needs, the primal emotional human needs. We can't live without what this channel of synthesis, a design of sensitivity, bring us. And this channel brings us the need for God, the need for love, for mating, the need for community, for food, for shelter, for sex. Everything is in this channel. This is the channel of the bride and the groom. This is the channel of the, I just forget words, unbelievable. I will remember, you know, all this sacrifice ceremonies, the relationship with animals. Everything is in this channel. This is the basic thing. This is the stream of touch. This is the stream of sensitivity. It's about creating balance between the personal needs and the needs of the community, the needs of partnership. Everything, all our emotional needs are rooted in this channel. And it is so, so strong to see that the keyword, the keynote for this channel and for this circuitry is support. We can't exist without support. And when we are not, when we don't allow ourselves to open our heart, we can't really accept true support. And it's interesting to see that we think that we support others, but from my experience, which is really, really strong, I can see that opening my heart and accepting support from very deep, close friends of mine, I can see that the way that I'm supporting others have changed. And I support people for, many, many, many years. I work with people and I was always supporting them. This is my design. But it's not the same when my heart is being more and more open to accept real support, not just verbal words, but the real tribal support when I'm in need. This is unbelievable. This is something that really changed me, and it is changing me. It's a beginning of a process. Me allowing this has changed me. And it also has changed the way that I support others. And this is really, really deep. And I'm glad to share it because I know that this is the return of the wounded healer. I can't really heal myself and others, or, I never heal others, but I support their healings if I'm not allowing myself to be truly supported. And it's interesting that people around me are beginning to be more and more tribal. and my acceptance of their support brings out their tribalness stronger than ever. It's really amazing. So we are going to have this energy of this sticky support, and I'm saying sticky with respect. Really, I am. And then a few hours later, the moon is going to enter the gate of duration, the 32nd gate, the gate of continuity, and we are going to have these two basic tribal channels: the channel of sensitivity and the channel of transformation, which is also, the Marian maiden that waiting for the support and for the recognition. These two channels are projected channels. They need recognition. With the 19th gate reaches its hand and waits for the recognition of the butcher, yes, of the 49th gate, and of course. The Marian maiden reaches out and waits for the recognition of the 32nd gate, and this channel of transformation is part of the stream of instinct. And again, instinct is about surviving in the world, yes, financially, physically, and sensitivity is about surviving emotionally. So this is really, really primal. And we get these two very strong, pressured tribal channels in a fourth line day. So we are going to have a very, very tribal, supportive network. And it's a chance for us to practice support and to really practice accepting support. And this is going to be there because the moon is the drive and Pluto is really there to transform us, and Mercury is what we talk about, and Venus is our values. So this is very strong, and we can accept this present, this offer, this support from the transits, from the program, to jump into one of our lessons, yes, of opening the heart and accepting support and see what happens. And then after one day, then again we have the sun going to enter the gate of revolution, the gate of emotional principles, the 49th gate, and again we are going to have the channel of sensitivity as part of the cross of explanation. And here we're going to have also the channel of logic. And it's beautiful to see how, the fourth gate, the gate of formalization, the gate that gives logical answers, is part of the quarter of duality, of course. And it's interesting to see the explanation and the formulas of relationship are really rooted in the channel of sensitivity. It's very, very nice to see this. So we are going to have this channel for about 24 hours, more or less. Again, so we are going to have this tribal experience really in order to shake us and to support us and to help us in renew our trust in these primal tribal needs and put them really in the place that they belong, because they are our survival. It's nice to also look at the keynotes and the keywords and the names that the Gene Keys, Richard Rudd in the Gene Keys gives these gates. It's really beautiful. So, gate 19, the approach, he calls it the future human being. And it's so nice to see that the future human being is changing the world from the inside. This is gate 49. And the CD, the higher potential of the channel of sensitivity is interdependence. We begin the shadow of this channel, and also of gate 19 is dependency. And then we have independency is the gift. Yes, the approach is in the shadow comes out of dependency, and then we have independency, and then the city is the higher potential of this channel of sensitivity is interdependence, and interdependence shows us that everything is connected. We don't live here alone on an island. We came to be part of something, and this is again our primal needs. The reaching out for God, the reaching out for a mate, the reaching out for community, for touch, for support. All this is basic human need. And yes, the future human being will change the world from the inside by accepting interdependency. And this is really the rebirth of a new process, of a new human process that comes from the shadow through the gift to the higher potential. So this is what we have in the next few days, and I hope that each of us will take it in and really change our world from the inside. Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.